Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. Let's start this video off with a recent update from good Vito, who is currently 14 weeks out from making his pro debut, and I am very excited to see this guy on a bodybuilding stage once again. And it also looks like Vito is working with a posing coach, which is great because I believe posing is one of his biggest weaknesses. But if good Vito is able to win this show in 14 weeks, it should qualify him for the 2023 Olympia. Good Vito is competing in September, the Olympia is in November, so I think it should make the cutoff date, but I'm not 100% sure. But let me know in the comment section below, what are you guys' thoughts on the physique of good Vito? And in the next update of the day, we have a recent update from the butcher Brett Wilkin, who is looking massive. Brett is already qualified for this year's Olympia by winning last year's big man weekend, beating out Andrea Presti, and before that, he took second in Romania to Beirut Tabani. How will Brett Wilkin place at this year's Olympia? A spot did just open up in the top 10. Rafa Brandão announced he's going to take an entire year off. Will this spot be filled by Brett Wilkin? Maybe Ian Valliere? Maybe Michael Krizo? Either way, I'm looking forward to seeing Brett compete again. A lot of improvements have been made. And speaking of Rafa Brandão, let's talk about him for 1 second. This image is courtesy of Buys and Tries over on Instagram. Rafa Brandão is no longer working with Chris Aceto, and he's now working with Neil Hill. And I can't argue with Rafa Brandão choosing Neil Hill as his coach. Neil is a great coach. He coached Flex Lewis, William Bonac, and is currently coaching Brandon Hendrickson, who has 3 Olympia titles in the men's physique division. But I'm not sure why he left Chris Aceto. Rafa just took top 10 in his Olympia debut. He beat Michael Krizo, who is a genetic freak. Krizo wasn't in condition, but either way, and he decided to pick a new coach. The only guess I can have, Rafa wants to add more size faster, and he doesn't think that's going to happen with Chris Aceto. That's just my personal opinion. But what do you guys think about this? And let's switch over to Mr. Olympia Hadi Choopan, who recently posted up an update. We would have talked about this first, but Hadi just posted this up not too long ago, looking very impressive. Take a look at Hadi's waist in the offseason. How is his waist going to look on the Mr. Olympia stage? And I feel like I'm one of the few people that thinks Hadi's going to win another title this year. I'm hearing a lot of Derek Lawrence for Samson Dowda, which is very possible, but I'm still going to ride with the reigning champ Hadi going into this year's Olympia. And as I've said numerous times, if Hadi Choopan comes in improved, he's going to be very, very hard to beat. Historically, it's very rare a Mr. Olympia improves and loses the title. And let's switch over to Tonio Burton, the winner of this year's New York Pro, and second place at the Cali Pro to Ross Flanagan. And I'll go ahead and say it right now, I believe Tonio will place higher than Ross at the Olympia. And there's nothing against Ross at all. Last year, Blessing Awodabo beat Charles Griffin in Indy, but at the Olympia, Charles placed higher than Blessing. But it looks like Tonio is taking advantage of this rebound phase. Now, he said it's possible he does the Legion Sports Fest because he won that show last year and it's also a show that's close to him, or he may just go into the Mr. Olympia. But this guy is slowly becoming one of my favorite bodybuilders. I believe he has a lot of potential. This guy can be at the top 10 at the Mr. Olympia. Maybe this year, maybe next year, but he will be in the top 10. Now let's switch over to Petar Klancir, who recently posted up some updates ahead of the Impro Classic. And I believe this is going to be the biggest threat to Michael Krizo. I haven't put out my predictions yet, but if Krizo is going to be number 1, I believe this guy is going to be number 2. And they're going to be 2 giants battling it out on that stage in Spain. And I believe Petar actually tore a bicep not too long ago, but the arms look pretty good here. I'm excited to see this guy back on the bodybuilding stage, especially next to Krizo and Andrea Presti. Now let's switch over to Keone Pearson, 9 weeks out from the Texas Pro. And Keone is looking very good here. Honestly, he could probably hop into the Chicago Pro or the Tampa Pro if he wanted to and rack up a couple pro wins. But I'm pretty sure Keone is just focused on that Mr. Olympia. He's going to go to Texas, earn his qualification, and then look to challenge Sean Clarita this year. And let's switch over to Classic Physique. We have a recent update from Ramon Dino. I actually grabbed this video from the YouTube channel of his sponsor. I will put the link in the description below. But Ramon Dino is looking incredible right now. And looking at Ramon in the offseason, I would say, you know, maybe he could challenge Chris Bumstead. But once again, Ramon has to lose so much weight, including muscle, to make that weight cap. The physique just doesn't look the same. But even with the weight cap, Ramon is still making improvements from show to show. Take a look at this guy's Christmas tree in the offseason. Look how pronounced the lower lat insertions are, how clean the back of Ramon Dino is. This guy is a very impressive bodybuilder, and I almost feel like Ramon is a lock for this second place spot. As of right now, I see it as very unlikely that anyone beats Ramon Dino at least in the next 2 years. As long as Ramon is able to stay within the weight cap, of course. But I'm pretty sure that Urs Kalecinski would disagree with that statement. You guys are currently looking at the latest updates of him from Canada, and Urs is massive but still in good condition. Off season but still has striations in the quads. And I believe Urs is going to bring an improved package to this year's Mr. Olympia as well. As far as him beating Ramon Dino, Urs either needs more arms, more back, or maybe even both. It's possible he can beat Ramon Dino, but I think he just lacks behind him too much in those areas. But Urs does have the edge in the posing, and posing makes a difference, guys, especially in classic physique. Now let's switch over to Branch Chen Kang. And the first thing that I noticed about this update is Branch is in pretty good condition. Hopefully he's prepping for a show. And also, he has made improvements in the back. He still doesn't have a world-class back, but the back looks better than the last time that I saw it. Now, Chris Cormier actually commented on my last video when I talked about Chen Kang, and he said Branch is still a threat and he's preparing for competition. And as I said in that video, I believe this guy is a first call-out guy at the Classic Physique Mr. Olympia. But hopefully we get to see Chen Kang on a bodybuilding stage soon, and he's able to win a show and qualify for this year's Olympia, because he definitely needs to be there. Now let's switch over to Hunter Labrada. I usually cover all the open updates in the beginning of the video, but Hunter just posted this up, and personally, I'm impressed. And I think a lot of people are still being too hard on Hunter going into the Texas Pro. I've literally heard people say, if Hunter beats Andrew in Texas, I will not watch bodybuilding. People act like it's not possible for Hunter to beat Andrew. He just beat him at last year's Olympia. And I'm not saying this to disrespect Andrew Jackson in any way, and I'm not saying that Hunter is definitely going to win this show. I just think people feel like it's cool to pick on Hunter Labrada. Whether we agree with his placings or not, Hunter has been top 10 in 3 Olympias. He has been as high as 4th place, and the guy is making improvements going into these 2 shows. I just think people are too hard on this guy, and he's actually making improvements. But let's go ahead and wrap up today's video here with the archive of the day. You guys let me know in the comment section below who is this bodybuilder. And as always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. At the time of me recording this video, we are right under 8,000 subscribers. I'm Krishan from GOAT Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.